Appreciate all of you right now. We've got 1 minute left for one of the most unique phone calls we have done up to this day. Question and answer, but we're going to do it a tad bit differently. Q and A. Q and A. Why am I losing? Why am I losing? Share this feed right now, everybody. Share it. Share the feed. Get people upon this phone call. Text someone. Get someone. Share the feed. Do whatever it is that you have to do to get here. Somebody needs this phone call. Live Q&A for 1 whole hour about you and I coming together and sharing with one another about how we are going to be great. Why am I losing? Listen, get ready to share a lot of phone calls, lots of questions, share them. We are ready now, staff, to start recording. All right, we're recording. Lines are open. We are good. People are calling in. I want to thank you for calling in. Thank you wonderfully. If you can mute your background as we keep the lines open on purpose, because this will be a Q&A phone call. Keep your lines open, but we will mute the phone calls if we need to. But if you can press mute, we would be grateful for that. I am monitoring the questions that you're going to ask. Use the hashtag Plant Better to inspire others. And even if you have a question, why am I losing? I want to talk to you tonight about why you may be losing. And so let me just tell you a few things. Thing number one, you're not a loser. You don't have to be. You don't need to be. But sometimes our harvest is a losing harvest. It is because we are doing things that are contrary to what we desire in our hearts and all. Does this make sense? All right, great. So let me just tell you a little bit about me. I'm 35 years old. I retired when I was 29 years old. I have no need for a job. I would never need a job. If I were to die right now, my family would be grateful for my death because they would be taken care of far greater than my life. And in my life, they're taken care of as well. I live a life. I wake up when I want to. I go to sleep when I want to. My kids now are waking up when they want to. They go to sleep when they want to. Life is good. I have every single thing that I want. I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm saying this to impress upon you that there is a different kind of life in which you can lead. So right now, share this feed. I appreciate it. I can see my man Isaac has shared this feed already. Everybody share the feed. We want as many people as we can get right now because this is a serious topic. Why am I losing? You do not have to lose. Losing is unworthy of you. In some cases, losing helps you to replan your plan. But in other cases, losing is something that is unworthy of you. Are we ready? Okay, one more thing before I get started. I'm actually already started, but I just want to let you know. Ask any question that you desire. The world is yours, but do not keep losing. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. Let's go. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready right now to answer any questions. Mostly on this topic. You may get off topic, and that'll be fine. We'll accept God or the universe, however you want to refer, whatever God in your life. We'll accept how things happen. Let's go. I'm ready.
Why is it so difficult to get out of our comfort zones and go for the life we want?
All right, so the question is, why is it so difficult to get out of our comfort zones and go for the life we want? It is difficult because you have been taught to be comfortable. Okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Your brain is, depending on what field of science you like, and your brain is 2 million years old or 20,000 years old, whatever. It doesn't, where you fall in science doesn't really matter to me. Your brain is smarter and older than you. And your brain does not want you to be successful. Your brain wants you to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you're a note taker, and many people take notes, and we have people who've never missed a phone call, you may want to take notes. Don't get this Q&A confused. The question is, why is it so hard for us to get out of our comfort zone and go for what makes us comfortable? Here's the answer. Your brain wants you comfortable. It doesn't want you successful. I'll give you some examples. Well, actually, one example is the only one that actually matters. Your brain will keep you alive in a coma for 30 years because success for your brain is staying alive. It's not a good credit score. That's success for you. The success for your subconscious brain is not you air gliding out of an airplane. It is not you having a family and 1.2 children. Success for your brain is not losing weight. Success for your brain is survival. And there is survival in comfort. The greatest way for your body to survive is in comfort. And this is why it is so hard for you to get out your comfort zone and go after what you want. Because you're trying to override 2 million years of programming of a brain that is smarter than you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You have to retrain your brain and to establish what a new comfortable is. For weightlifters, a new comfortable is being uncomfortable and ripping my muscles apart. For entrepreneurs like myself, a new comfortable is we don't get sleep. We work. We skip meals. We eat these goals. But your brain is designed to keep you comfortable. And please believe, there is no success in your comfort zone. There is only substantiation in your comfort zone. Where there is comfort, there is mediocrity. Your brain desires strongly mediocrity. Does this make sense? Sweet. Next question. I want to thank all you guys for sharing this feed. We see the numbers are piling up. Let's see. I got a question online. I'm looking at it. What is the first step I take in living a life that is worthy of me? Killing the old you. Okay? So the question online I got is, what is the first step that I take in living a life that is worthy of me? That first step is killing the old me. Now, there's a next logical question that comes after that. Can you guess it?
How do I kill old me?
How do I kill the old me? You don't pay attention to the old you. That's your problem. That's your problem. Your problem is you keep putting energy in places that are dead. If you keep putting your living energy in dead places, you simply grow the dead areas of your life. So the original question is, what's the first step that I take? And I tell you, the first step that you take to live a life that is worthy of you is to kill the old you. How do I kill the old me? Stop feeding the old me. Take your mind, project it to the new you that you desire to be. Kill all other options and die for the future you that you desire to be. Now, in that I said two things. And the only two things that actually matter for you in this conversation. It's the only two things that actually matter for you in the conversation. I hope you receive them and hear them very well. Thing number one, stop putting energy in dead places. Thing number two, you need to have a vision for the you want to be. I really hope that answers your question, my man. You're a very good servant. And shout out to Isaac. Just shout out Isaac is a good brother. Good brother. I have no issues with Isaac. He's a good brother. God bless him and all that he does. Next question. Online, over the phone, the lines are unmuted. I don't believe I heard my staff mute the lines. You got a question?
How do you know when you're in a losing situation?
How do you know when you're in a losing situation? Now, here's the deal about losing. Losing is what you call subjective. You have objective and you have subjective. Does this make sense? Objective is something that is not bound by rules of your desire. It is objective. Gravity is something that is objective. It doesn't matter if you feel like being struck by gravity today. Gravity is working on you, whether you feel like it or not. Subjective is, this means this to me, this means this to you. Make sense? All right, I had to define that first because I got to answer your question. So losing is subjective. What is a loss for you is not a loss for me. Okay? There are people in Baghdad sleeping outside. As a matter of fact, I've spent many years of my life in the United States Army doing a lot of outside and what you would call terrible things, but they've all been winning for me. Does that make sense? For you, that may have been losing. I spent years never sleeping inside of a house, right? Losing. So, how do you know when you're in a losing situation? There's one objective answer. Write this down. When your situation is no longer serving you. When your situation is no longer serving you. That's how you know when you're in a losing situation. Let me help you out a little bit. Some of you are losing because the people around you are choking your blessings. Some of you are losing because the situations that you're in are choking your blessings. See, that's not the people. See, some of you want to blame people, but it's your situation that you keep putting yourself in that's actually choking your blessings. And then most of you, and this is the truth, okay, so let me put a percentage. I'm going to put a fake percentage on things, but it's going to be pretty accurate, but it won't be scientific, okay? Those of you who are losing because of people around you, 25%. Those of you who are losing because your situations are choking your blessings, 25%. At least 50% left. 50% of you, that is half of you, are losing because your energy is in the wrong place. Because you would rather argue over who left the dishes in the sink than fight for prosperity. Because you would rather fight poverty than chase prosperity. Because you want to fix your debt problem instead of focusing on having good credit. Your energy is in the wrong place. You have the correct motives, but you have the wrong focus. As long as you keep focusing on debt, that is exactly what you're going to continue to get, more debt. As long as you keep focused on correcting your spouse, you're going to keep getting nothing but issues to correct your spouse about. Half of you are losing because your energy is in the wrong place. Does this make sense? You're losing because your energy is in the wrong place. Watch it. Energy is attention. Attention is observation. And according to quantum physics, the conscious observer creates that reality. So if you observe something, you create that reality. So if you keep observing what is unworthy of you, you keep living a life that's unworthy of you. Does that make sense? All right. Next question. Let's see if we got one online. Oh, we got Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Tiff is my great friend. I don't want to say old friend. She's young. She's dark-skinned for life. Dark-skinned for life, Tiffany. You wouldn't understand unless you was somebody as chocolatey as me. Tiff is cool. So great. We got some good comments. Listen, you don't have to agree with me. I mean, you can drop some negative comments and we can talk. It's all good. I agree, lost energy. Listen, lost energy is wasted energy. Guard yourself from energy leaks. Everything in your life doesn't serve you. Everybody in your life doesn't serve you. And everything that's important to you is not important to your supreme destiny. No. You're not going to sleep on that last one. Everything that is important to you is not necessarily important to your supreme destiny. Does that make sense? Next question. Go ahead.
Why is it easier to lose than it is to win?
Why is it easier to lose than it is to win? That is a great question. Because it takes no energy to lose. Or it takes very little energy to lose. It takes very little energy. Let's do this scientifically, okay? Let's go with potential energy and kinetic energy, okay? And when I do this, I love to use the example of Niagara Falls or a waterfall. It takes very little energy for the water to fall, but it takes massive amounts of energy for the water to climb. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, right? This is a science. Like I've taken philosophy, I'm taking theology out of it. Let's just talk scientifically for a second. The question was, why is it easier to lose than to win? When you look at a waterfall, it takes zero energy. Well, I don't want to say zero. It takes very little, minimal energy for the water to fall. But it takes massive amounts of energy to push that water up.
Right.
Anybody can swim with the stream. Only prosperous people swim upstream. Now listen. 95. No. Now listen to me, because I'm about to say something that you're going to disagree with. If you're of the poverty mindset, I want to say something you're going to disagree with. 95% of the people you know are going with the stream. Mm-hmm. If you know people, I shouldn't do that. There's 3 ways to make money. I won't go into them. That's a different phone call. But 95% of the people you know make money by trading their time for money. Mm-hmm. That is a losing method. I know you didn't agree with that. I'm not telling you to quit your job. Okay? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But if you're trading time for money and saving 10% of your income and allowing your money to work for you, kudos. You're doing a great job. Now you're being smart because you traded time for money to buy your time back. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. 95% of the people in this world are swimming with the stream. But how many... Okay, let's do it this way. If you date me and I sleep with 95% of the women you know, will you appreciate me? Mm-mm. Okay, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. If you didn't catch the parallel of this is that is this, I'll do it again. 95% of the people are going with the stream. If you date me and I sleep with 95% of the women you know, I'm just going with the flow of things, will you value me?
No.
But if I was of the 5% of the people you met that were different from the men who hurt you, would you value me? Mm-hmm. There you go. This is why it's easier to lose than to win, because winning is hard work. Winning takes work. And work is a dirty word no one wants to talk about. Write that down. Work is a dirty word no one wants to talk about. Please hear me. Please hear me. Please hear me very well. If you have a plan and you fail it, it's because you have execution problems. I'm not saying your plan is perfect. I'm saying if you execute your flawed plan, in your execution, you will discover that your plan is flawed. Work is a dirty word. Nobody wants to do anymore. Nobody wants to work anymore. Listen, this isn't even original with me. This is, Eric Thomas, hip-hop preacher, said this first. You ain't outworking me. You're not outworking me. I'm on this phone call for an hour. Bam. You're not outworking me. When I leave here, you're not outworking me. I'm everywhere you want to be. You're not outworking me. I'm on eBay. You're not outworking me. I'm on MySpace. You not outworking me. I'm in Jupiter. You not outworking me. You are not outworking me. You understand what I'm saying? Because work is what you need to have and what you need to achieve to get to the next level. Make sense? All right, so I think we had a phone call coming from, I think we had a question coming from over the phone that someone unmuted. Got two online. Okay, got two online. I want to say, okay, so my staff just unmuted the phone. Do we got a question over the phone? So somebody close your door. You got a question over the phone? Okay. Okay. Well, we can. There we go. Question over the online. Online.
One asked, do you believe in God?
Now you got to talk loud. What are you talking about?
One asked, where is God in the picture? And then the other one is, how do I balance the mundane in my dreams in order to win?
All right. Let me answer the first one first, and then repeat the second one for me. Okay. So, I actually stopped looking at the Facebook, so I wouldn't know who's asking me questions, so I can give honest answers. Do I believe in God? Was that the question?
Yes.
All right. So here's the deal. I'm not sure where anything I have said thus far is etching God out of anything. And I think that is the issue with religious folk. You can talk. Now, I don't know who this is. It's irrelevant, because if you ask me personally, I would tell you the same thing to your face. Okay? This isn't a God issue at this moment. God is as far as God goes. If you believe in God, God is in everything, to include you working hard. Does that make sense? If you're a Christian, then I don't want to say Christian. If you are religious, now, since I know something about Christianity, my degrees are in this field, which is a crazy question. Anyway, if you are a Christian, you should be working harder than anybody else on planet Earth, because you don't work to impress me. You work to impress your Lord. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So the question of, do I believe in God? It's not a matter of unfairness, as I don't think like that. It is a matter of nobody brought that up but you. Now, the question now becomes, where do you end God's power over you losing with your power over you losing? Because if I pray in the middle of a gunfight, at some point, I need to have the conscious and cognitive skills to move away from the bullets. How much of your losing, and I mean your, now I'm saying your in second person plural, right? I'm no longer talking to the person who ever answered this question, right? You as in y'all in Texas, okay? Y'all, or second person plural in regular English, right? You know, you all, okay? Okay, bunch of yous out there. You're gonna have to separate your wonderful, magnificent, omnipotent deity of choice. You're gonna have to separate that from where you lack, because we often use prayer as procrastination. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. So I respect the question. Hopefully, maybe I made you mad. I'm not here to make you upset. I'm not here to make you upset, but I am here to disrupt your soil. At no point am I etching God out of anything. So do me a favor, whoever asked that question, ask me a more specific question about God, and I can actually answer your question better, because the question was so broad that I could believe in God and still not share your theology. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, what was the second question?
How do you balance the mundane in my... How do I balance the mundane in my dreams in order to win?
All right, so you got to ask yourself, what are you calling mundane? Now, I know it is generally mundane. It's just boring or routine things. Lean in. The routine things in my life are spectacular. Let's see that. No. See, that's. You gotta think about this here, because you didn't understand what you were asking when you asked it, right? What's mundane for you is not mundane for Warren Buffett. You know what I'm saying? And so Warren Buffett has a different mundaneness, and so. I don't know who you are. I purposely stopped looking. Does it make sense? Okay, I purposely stopped looking. I don't want nobody to. Matter of fact, if you can, I close it. All right. I don't want nobody to be. You talk about me personally. I don't want that. Right. Here's what I'm saying. Ask yourself, what are you calling or defining as mundane? Does this make sense? Ask yourself, what are you calling? What are you following is mundane? Because Bill Gates mundane. It's not your mundane. There's people out there spending $1 million a day. Their mundane is literally $1 million a day. It's not the same thing as yours. Does that make sense? So, first recognize that people who live their dreams have a different level of mundane than you. You're gonna have to receive that, or you don't have to, but you're gonna have to. Whatever you want to do with that. If you're living I live every last one of my dreams. My level of mundaneness is not yours. Whoever you are, whoever I am. Let me not do it that way. My level of mundaneness 3 years ago is not my level of mundaneness today. Does that make sense? Right? So balance, if you want to live your dreams, is to actually not have balance. Is to actually incorporate everything you want in your dreams. Somehow, whether it be, so I'm going to have to bring back up the God question again to whoever asked that question. Okay, great. I'm gonna have to, because I led myself full circle back to it. Okay. There's no either or when it comes to your dreams. Incorporate your husband in your dreams. Incorporate your religion in your dreams. Incorporate your mundaneness in your dreams. Incorporate your level of education in your dreams. Incorporate your fantasies in your dreams. Incorporate your credit score in your dreams. Incorporate how much you travel the world in your dreams. Does this make sense? Stop making it an either or. Only live your dreams, and this question will become irrelevant. Make sense? All right, give me the God question again.
Okay. She said that was not the question. I said, where is God in the whole picture? She said, you are depending on yourself. There are things that you can't control.
Sweet. Now, that's a great question. Okay, great. That's a great. Remember, I'm glad I don't know who it is, and I didn't want to offend anybody. That's a great question. Where is God in this whole picture? So whoever that is, type to her until I said, wonderful question, because I would have never thought of this question. That's an amazing question, okay? And so whoever you are, check this out. Where is God in your what? In all of this?
In the whole picture.
In the whole picture. Okay, great. You just, listen, let me clap for you right now. You asked the greatest question thus far, okay? Where is God? Now see where I'm pointing at? I'm going to tell you that God is up here. Okay? It's up here. You are down here. Watch this here. Here's what that means. Where God is in your life is where the how exists in your dreams. Listen to me. This was a great question, and I'm glad that we got clarity now, okay? God is here. Okay, got it? God handles the how.
Okay.
See, whoever, I don't know who this is, but I'm so glad you asked this question because you're helping a whole lot of people. If you are planning something and you're wondering how to do it, you are now in God's business.
Come on, sir.
Did you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so let's okay. I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna prove it in a second, but let me help you just for a second, okay? the questions, beautiful question. I love whoever this is, right? Beautiful question. Now I can answer the question, right? Beautiful question. The how is God's responsibility. Make sense? What you want is your responsibility. And all you need to do is know what you want. Develop a plan to get there, but don't worry about how your plan will work, how you're going to get there, because the how now becomes God's job. No. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How is not your responsibility, and you're killing yourself with how, and you're developing ulcers with how, and you're hurting your children's future with how, and you're making them have low self-esteem with how, and you're giving your own self low self-esteem with how, and you're stopping yourself from working hard because you keep wondering how, and you get demotivated because how is weighing down on you. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. How is God's job, not yours. Your job is to know what and act like whoever you serve is going to give it to you.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
How is not your domain. That's God's domain. Your job is to know what and to know who. I know what I want and I know who's going to give it to me. How you're going to get there is no longer your responsibility. I'll explain it. I'm going to prove it in two ways, because whoever this person is has a religious background. I'll give it to you in two ways. Stop telling God how to bless you. Ask for what you want, and he will give it to you the fastest, quickest, harmonious way to give it to you. Sometimes you just have to say, Lord, have mercy on me. Nothing else. Lord, here's what I want. Have mercy on me. Don't tell him how to package your husband you keep desiring. Does this make sense? Don't tell him how to package the income. You may be trying to get a job. He may have a new invention for you. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not God, and I'm not trying to be your God. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to relieve you of the burden of wondering how. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let's prove it with the text now. Okay. Well, I only know two texts by heart. I know the Quran and I know Christianity, and only because of the way my life has been. Okay, so I've written books on the Quran, and I have degrees in Christianity. So I can only quote to you two sets of holy scriptures. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's quote this Christian scripture. Matthew chapter 6 says, okay, one of the greatest books or collection of authors in scripture, right, that's ever been on planet Earth, says, hey, look at these birds out here. These birds aren't stressing about where they're going to eat. I'm not kidding you. It's Matthew chapter 6. The birds aren't worried about anything. They know their Father in heaven takes care of them. Watch it. Then, red letter if you have a Bible, okay? Jesus is talking here. Then he says, look at this grass. This grass didn't wake up this morning and say, how am I going to grow today? I got 1 millimeter to grow, and how am I going to do? See, God says, however you're going to do it, don't worry about that, because grass isn't straining to grow. Trees aren't straining to grow, and birds aren't stressing how they're going to eat. You are. Don't be anxious for today. For today has its own problems, right? Or don't be anxious for tomorrow, excuse me. For tomorrow has its own problems. Worry about today. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So do not worry about how. I hope I'm liberating you. And I am not trying to offend you. I have no idea who asked me this question. And I hope now that I have a clarity of the question, your question is being answered. How is killing you? How are you going to pay your bills? Makes no sense for you to wonder. Know that you serve a provider who has bills under control. Does that make sense? I'm not telling you not to go out there and work. I'm telling you not to go out there and stress while you're working. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Okay. All right, next question.
When you begin to win, how do you ensure that you don't go backwards to a losing state?
Okay, this is actually a very simple answer. So the question is, when you begin to win, how do you ensure that you don't go back to a losing state? This is actually, now, when we think this is what keeps people stopping, this is what stops people from winning. Because, and this is honest to God truth, you worry about losing when you're already losing. You would never ask this question as a winner. Now, honestly. Now, you can win while being a loser, and I say that with respect. And since you have a losing mentality, you have to ask this question. You have to wait for the other shoe to drop, like as old folk would say. Does that make sense? Or you have to wait for the bottom to fall out. Because you're not a winner. You don't have a winning mentality. You just happen to luck up on winning while losing. Does that make sense? So the answer to this question is very simple. It's a two-part answer. If you're winning and you don't want to go backwards, you do two things. You plant more winning seeds. Make sense? Mm-hmm. And you work harder to plant better than the seeds you just planted. Honestly. It's that simple. Because there'll always be peaks and valleys, right? I stole that from Spencer Johnson, okay? He wrote the book Peaks and Valleys and also Who Stole My Cheese, okay? Here's the deal. If you don't want to go back to losing, you do two things. You only plant winning seeds, and while you're planting winning seeds, you work hard to plant better seeds than the winning seeds you just planted. Do you know why that second part is in there? Because just because you won don't mean you're going to stay on top. Because there's a guy like me that wants your spot. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. LeBron James did not feel like Jordan should stay at the top forever. Neither did Kobe. Neither does Steph Curry. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you don't duplicate your winning methods and then add on to your winning methods, the people that you passed up will pass you up because, inflammatory statement follows, they're pissed off you beat them. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You work hard planting good seeds, and you work even harder making sure that the seeds you just planted that were good, you plant even better seeds than that. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, next question.
Someone asked if you can define winning and losing.
Yeah, sure. Winning and losing has a pathology, okay? Pathology is a mindset, okay? So, can you define losing and can you define winning? Sure, it's absolutely simple. This is one of those subjective things again. But the definition is objective. Losing is getting a result that does not serve you and is a result that doesn't make you feel good. Does that make sense? Losing is getting a result that doesn't serve you and getting a result that doesn't make you feel good. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Winning is the exact opposite. It's right other end of the spectrum. Winning is getting a result that serves you and the result you received makes you feel good. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I have to find, now the next logical question is, well, how do I know what feels good? That's the next logical question. Or what are feelings? Feelings are made-up words. It's a made-up word that we use to describe our vibratory frequency. Now, I don't care if you believe in the law of attraction or not. That's not up to me. I don't care. Just do what you want to do. However, the law of attraction is simply a side effect of the law of vibration. And we know for sure that the law of vibration exists. Period. You get the right microscope. The molecules and whatever you're looking at is vibrating. If that don't make sense to you, fine. You don't need a microscope. There's a difference between temperature and hot and cold. Okay? Temperature is the scientific barometer or measurement of how fast the molecules are vibrating in the air. Because the molecules are always at a constant state of vibration. Unless you get to 0 Kelvin, okay? That's absolute zero is what that is, okay? Absolute zero. Now check this out. The molecule, actually it's not, it doesn't matter. Molecules are always vibrating. If they're vibrating slowly, it's cold. If they're vibrating rapidly, it's hot. Now, hot is subjective. 7 degrees to you feels good. 7 degrees to me may not feel good. But what doesn't change is the molecules are vibrating. Now, let's bring that back so you can all understand it. The law of attraction is simply a side effect of vibratory frequencies. And so as you're feeling good, that is simply your body saying whatever we're doing is in vibratory alignment of whatever we want. If you don't feel good, this isn't prosperity talk. This is scientific talk. You are no longer vibrating at whatever vibratory frequency that you keep thinking about, that you keep desiring. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, great. That's the difference between winning and losing. Winning and losing winning has a pathology, losing has a pathology. If it doesn't serve you, if it doesn't make you feel good, you're losing. If it does serve you and if it does make you feel good, you're winning. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Next question. Anyway, okay, got one over here.
2 more online questions.
2 more online questions.
The first one is winning and losing in our personal perspective or the perspective of others?
That's a good question.
And then the second one is, if you have been losing for a long time, how do you start attracting winners?
Okay, great. Those are 2 good questions. Did they come from the same person?
Mm-mm. No, 2 different people.
Both of you deserve high fives. Okay, repeat the first question for me so I can answer it very concisely.
Is winning and losing in our personal perspective or the perspective of others?
Great. It's always in your personal perspective. It never matters what other people say. Okay? Like, just, if you're not careful, you'll let other people tell you what winning is and you'll marry the wrong person. If you're not careful, you'll let other people tell you what winning is and you'll go to the wrong college. You'll work at the wrong job. Right? You have the wrong number of kids. Some of you can't love past 2 kids. Oh, we're going to be real today. You did great at 2. You got 3, and now somebody that got middle child, young child, old child syndrome. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. If it don't make sense, I just made it make sense for some of you suffering with this right now. Okay? Winning is what you want. I'll explain. My assistant is very happy in a $40,000 house paid off. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's winning for her. Mm-hmm. And a Honda Civic that don't break down. Make sense? No, I'm dead serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's winning.
She said, who said?
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is winning. There are school teachers that love their job and they do their job well. That's a winner. Make sense? Mm-hmm. There are billionaires who hate their lives. That's a loser. Get it? Mm-hmm. Winning has nothing to do with a dollar amount. If you hit your target, so now I had to define success. Success, as I define it, is anyone who sets a target, hits that target, and then hits that target well. Okay? So you set a target and you hit it. But now you have to hit it with a good attitude. Because some of you are hitting low targets that you don't feel good about. You go home every day and you happy at work, but as soon as your keys touch the doorknob, your attitude changes because you don't want to walk in your house. That's losing. That's losing. Amen? Now, that's losing. If you don't want to go home, you're losing at home and you're winning at work. You know what that's called? Even. And even people are forgotten. Make sense? And if you're religious, as far as the Christian religion goes, lukewarm is spit out. Make sense? Alright, so that's that. Let me give me the second. The second one was even better.
Your sister said who said.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she wants a Tesla now. So I put a Honda Civic on her, but she wants a Tesla now. 3 years ago, a Honda Civic would have been just fine. Okay, go ahead.
If you have been losing for a long time,
Yes.
how do you start
attract?
attracting losers?
Okay. Whoever asked this question from a real place, and I want to help you. Very simple answer. Difficult to do. Make sense? But just because it's difficult don't mean it's impossible. You just have to decide to do the answer. Here's the answer. When you want to attract winners, you have to be a winner. That's the only answer. There's no other answer. Why? Because according to science, forget your faith, forget your philosophy, vibratory frequencies attract vibratory frequencies. Like attracts like. You become a winner in your mind. You don't have to listen. Your clothes don't have to say winner. Your house doesn't have to say winner. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Those are external things that winners don't even care about. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Winners see past your rags and see your vibratory frequency. We call it vibes. Mm-hmm. I know you're not there yet, but your vibe, something about you makes me want to keep hanging with you. Something about you makes me want to hire you. Listen, it is very hard to work for my organization. I don't hire anybody I won't work for myself. Period. If I interview you and I say to myself, I won't work for you, you will not get hired for me. Does that make sense? Because I'm looking for winners. And I work for winners. All right. So the only way to attract winners is to actually become a winner first. Don't misconfuse. Misconfuse? Is that? No, that's not true. Yeah. Well, don't confuse me. Okay, yeah. I don't know. Forget I said that. Okay. Don't confuse me. Don't misconstrue my words. Don't externally apply winning to what you look like. If you're internally a winner, you will attract winners, and your outside will eventually begin to show that. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So let's go here, network marketers. Let me help you out. You do your, or entrepreneurs, you do your wonderful sales pitch, and you're nervous the whole time. What you sent off silently was, don't listen to me. I'm not the leader you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll know my business, I know my presentation, but don't follow me because I secretly don't want you to follow me, and I'm telling you by vibratory frequency, don't follow me. This is why your network marketing business or your company or whatever, right, is failing. Make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, next question.
Is it ever important to feel like you have won, or do you continue winning?
Okay, both. The answer is both. You need to feel like you won every day. Let me tell you something. When you get up and go pee, you are a winner. Oh, no. Let me tell you something. There's folk out there with colostomy bags.
Okay.
So if you woke up this morning, you need to feel like you hit the lottery. You know why you hit the lottery? It isn't original. I'm borrowing this from Gary Vee, okay? Gary Vaynerchuk, okay? I'm borrowing this from Gary Vaynerchuk. Listen, if you woke up this morning, you automatically a winner. You know why? You could have been a cucumber. If you are a human being, you hit the universal lottery. You could have been this towel. You could have been this, that I just dropped. Okay, give it to me. You could have been this iPhone 7 headphone adapter. You could have been this pen. You could have been toe fungus.
Oh, my
I'm serious. Like, seriously, everything is energy. If you woke up this morning as a human being, you're already a winner. You already hit the universe's lottery. How dare you be a human being and be sad? Now, that's serious. No. That's serious. We got to receive this here. You could have been literally my fingernails. You could have not been born. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You could have been a cell phone. This cell phone has energy. But you are a human being. So if every day you wake up as a human being, you are the universe's lottery pick. Get up and do something with your life. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you went to the restroom on your own ability,
Winning.
you winning again. Brush your teeth, winning. You do remember there was a time in your life that you didn't know how to brush your teeth. You had to literally learn the algorithm. That's what that actually is, a set of steps to brush your teeth. You do this algorithm so well, you don't even think about it. That's how smart you are now. You've mastered an algorithm. You washing your face is an algorithm. Pick up towel, run water, push the hand under the soap, wash my soap. Don't breathe while water is in my nose. That's an algorithm. If you drink water, you've learned the algorithm of drinking water because you can't drink and breathe at the same time. And even babies understand that. You a winner, so you should always feel like a winner. So the next time you feel down, remember, I need to close here. Remember that feeling like a winner will create you to be a winner, which will attract you more winners, and winners get some stuff. Now, should you continue winning? That was the second part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you continue?
Yes, you should continue winning. Because you can't help people losing as someone losing. Make sense? And if you have children, win, please. Please win. Please win. If you have children, win. Because all you're doing is creating people, little kids, that won't lose. Okay, we got something interesting happening online?
You sound like you're mixing Christianity with metaphysics. You can't do both. You rely on God or you rely on yourself.
Okay, so whoever asked that was incredibly a metaphysical conversation I just had. Does that make sense? I just literally had a metaphysical conversation. Make sense? Mm-hmm. I literally also had a God conversation. Let's see, that don't make sense to you. Can I help you out?
Please.
The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. So is metaphysics. Who told you to separate physics from God? I didn't say they were the same. I just said the earth is the Lord's, and he uses physics. Next question.
You got one?
Questions? Somebody ask a question. We got 9 more minutes.
All of the questions that I had were actually asked.
Okay. Go ahead. Got a question here?
Where to?
Anybody online with a question? Maybe you want to challenge or ask me, or maybe over the phone with a question, or maybe whoever asked the metaphysics question or God question wants to correct me or something, right? Who has a question? Don't force one. Ask a real one. We got a few more minutes.
So, you said you know you've lost or you're in a losing situation when your situation is no longer serving you. So basically, you've won when the situation is serving you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. If the situation is serving you, you won. Now wait though, hold on. Because...
So my other question was, how do you know you've won? That's why I didn't ask, because you said how you know you've lost.
Fair enough. But wait, let's back up a little bit. Just because something isn't serving you doesn't mean you're not winning.
Okay.
Okay? I didn't open it up far enough. I have a plan to... Okay, let's go. Okay, I have a plan. I have a book coming out August 9th. I have a plan to sell 25,000 books pre-sale. Now, if part of my plan doesn't serve me, it doesn't mean I'm losing. It just means I need to replan my plan. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. If I'm in a bad marriage, that doesn't mean I'm losing. That just means I need to fix my character issues. Because watch it, there are no such thing as marital problems. Only character problems that bubble up to the surface.
Okay.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if my marriage isn't serving me, there's a character problem somewhere. Now that I recognize that, that losing is now serving me. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, anything else? Check online real quick. I'll end it. That's all right. I'll end it. Check online.
Okay. So, I was in a winning position. And, oh, wait. So, we do have a question online.
All right. Question online. Judging by your facial expression is not such a good one.
We have two and one, and then we have like 3 questions.
All right. 3 questions. Let's go.
So, what is what you want is not what if what you want is not the will of God? No matter how much you picture what you want in your mind.
That's the question.
That's a fair question. That's a fair question. I'll answer that one last. I'll close the call with that.
The other one is, how do you win when you know you're in a loser situation?
No. Don't accept a losing situation. No. You're not in a losing situation. You're in a learning situation.
Okay.
You're not losing. You're learning. If you accept it as losing, then you automatically begin losing. Just because you aren't winning at the moment doesn't mean you're not a winner. Don't let your circumstances define the level of winner you are. You are not losing, you're learning. The only way you lose is if you quit. And if you're still moving, you're not losing. Please hear me, because I feel much pain and passion from this person. Don't accept losing. Accept learning. Make sense? All right, what was that third question?
What if what you want is not the will of God? No matter how much you picture it,
Is that the 2 and 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's the one you wanted to.
All right, so we're gonna end with that one then. Okay, that was a great question from whoever answered that one. So it actually had got another one. Okay, give me the other one that just came in. Whoever you are to ask that question, the will of God question. We closing with you. That was a powerful question.
Why is losing so intense personally to winning? Especially if you're thinking you're planting better seeds and you receive no winning harvest. Do you keep planting?
Losing is intense to you because your subconscious makes it intense to you. Okay, so there's write this down. You hear me say it again, but write this down. There's 3 ways. Your subconscious acts in 3 ways. Here's how you retrain your subconscious. Okay, way number 1, the story you tell yourself and others. Okay. Make sure you guys type this for them so they can, because I'm gonna go fast so I can answer this last person's, the first person's question. The story you tell yourself and others. Number 2, your limiting beliefs. Number 3, your judgments and your fear of consequences. Okay, my staff is typing that for you so you can see it online. If you're over the phone, email us at info@vatsjr.com and we'll give that to you. Okay, so listen. The reason why losing is so intense to you is because the story you tell yourself is you're a loser and you have to lose and this is supposed to be intense. The reason why losing is so intense for you is because your subconscious keeps telling yourself, I don't get the win. It's limiting beliefs. The reason why you keep losing and losing feels so intense to you is because you fear winning. Okay? Somewhere in there is your problem. 1, 2, and 3. Be conscious of it, reprogram that, and you really won't have any more problems. Hard to retrain your subconscious, but it is possible, and that's how you do it. Make sense? All right, this is the last question. Repeat for me that question, but it had actually more than 2 parts in it.
What if what you want is not the will of God?
Okay, stop right there. The question, okay, we're going to keep going, okay? We'll do this like a Bible study almost. What if what you want is not the will of God? There's no possible way that I can refute you about what is the will of God in your life. And I won't do it. I'll give you 2 things. I'll give you the flip side and you decide where you are. Okay? Does it make sense? God says, I'm assuming this person is Christian. Okay? Remember, I only know the Quran and Christianity. Sorry. Okay? That's just only 2 books I know by heart, pretty much. Okay, that's the only 2 I know. So I can only, with high level of education, answer you from a Christian or a Quran Islam perspective. I'll give you the desires of your heart. Okay? Whatever you ask of me, believe and receive. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all these things Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. I'll make you the head and not the tail. I'll do exceedingly and abundantly above for you, and I'll do exceedingly and abundantly above all the things you can ask or think for. And we know that all things work together according to good, for your good, and we know that all things work together for good, according to those who love him. Okay. If you tell this mountain, be picked up and cast into the sea, it will be done. Okay. Nothing is impossible with God. You can take all those, and those are facts. It is also a fact that Jonah ran to Joppa. He was supposed to go to Nineveh, but he took his butt to Joppa. And in your belief, if you're Christian, God designed, and at this time he's always Yahweh, but I'm just trying to throw you into the Old Testament, okay, by saying the name Yahweh. He is designing a big fish that somehow doesn't acidically burn Jonah in its stomach, and literally takes Jonah towards Nineveh, thus proving that if God wants you to do something, you gonna doggone do something. Does that make sense? Okay, so you got both sides there. Does that make sense? You got both sides. I'm not telling you which side you fit in your life. I literally, exegetically quoted scriptures for you to decide where your desire is in your life. You may be in one of those situations to where this is some sort of supreme destiny you have no control over. I don't want to tell you that you're not, and I don't want to be disrespectful to you. What I can tell you is I've given you a logical argument between how much God's taking, and I can think of all the stuff that God has told you can do if you believe you such and such, such and such, such and such, such and such, okay? And I also showed you the story of Jonah, which is a great example of you gonna do what I said you gonna do, period. Make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, what's the next part of that?
It was actually, she was actually making a statement after she asked that question.
We'll give you the statement.
No matter how much you picture what you want in your mind.
Okay, so in life, now, this is why I wanted to end here. Here's what most people don't know, and I don't really know how to give it to you without hurting your feelings a little bit, and I'm gonna change my intensity and my tone because I want you to receive me gladly. In life, sister and brother out there, you don't get your level of intellect. You get your level of awareness. Okay? Now listen. That hurts some feelings, because some of you are smart. And you're smart in your scriptures. And you got degrees, but you're struggling. Because intellect doesn't give you what you want. Who you are attracts what you get. You can know all the scriptures, but if your level of awareness of who God is failing, according to your Christian beliefs, you won't make it in. Prime example. The enemy, the adversary, the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call him, knows scriptures, has a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, according to your beliefs. Okay, so we got a lot of Christian questions this time. He ain't making it in. He has a high level of intellect, but his awareness is going to keep him out. The Christians who hurt you, or anybody in religion who hurt you, they have a high level of intellect of their scriptures, but a low level of awareness of how much we're all connected. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So in life, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. So if you keep getting what you don't want, that is actually who you are. Your dominant thoughts, the thoughts that run your life, those dominant thoughts are the thoughts that are making you who you are. Yes, you want whatever it is that you want. Yes, you want a happy marriage, $1 million. But I don't know what you want. Yes, you want it. But unfortunately, your level of awareness won't let you get it. If that don't make sense, I'll prove it to you right now. Floyd Mayweather is not an intelligent man. I say this with respect. But his level of awareness makes him so much money. He make more money than everybody watching me online and on this phone call right now. You know why? Because his intellect is not getting him what he wants. His level of awareness to know how to get it is creating his life. My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. I cannot tell you what to do with your life. I hope you still love me after this Q&A. Even if you do not, I love you. What I can tell you is, if you desire to change the quality of your life, you must first change the quality of your seeds. And the only way scientifically to do that is to literally plant better. Thank you for coming out. God bless you, and good night.